Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of College Football UK. As ever, I am your host, Fletch, and joining me on this fine, very warm Wednesday evening is Nick. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, thank you. So can't complain.
Very, very good. Um, some might say it has been a pretty busy week this week for both of us. What have you been getting up to? Anything interesting?
Um, no, I slight change to the work schedule this week. But nothing drastic. Um, but little by little the weekend's creeping up, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So, and judging by your smile, I wonder whether I've worked out what you were trying
Yep,
to say because you
already. Yep.
you dropped one earlier. But yeah,
Hmm.
so just working towards Saturday and then um, rinse, lather, repeat for next week. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm really excited that we're getting to that point now where you know both in the college level and the professional game, the
Yes.
training camps are starting to get organized, and within a week or so, everything will be up and running. And you know,
Yep.
football season's almost here, and
As as
um,
of the day of release, this will be the 17th of July. We will be officially, granted, it's the Hall of Fame game, but 2 weeks away from football being played, professional football being played. Like you say, he's got a few days to go to the weekend. Nice big weekend. So just got to roll with it and uh
that's the master plan.
and deal with it. It is. Right. Okay. So we are going to get into today is the start of our previews of conferences. We've got five, by the way, five episodes, 5 episodes of planned content. And then after the fifth episode, when I think we'll do the SEC, it's a week zero preview. It is a week, Nick. I don't, that smile on your face is not big enough. We're 5 more episodes. It's a week zero preview. We're into
Week
conference.
zero preview. Who's playing week zero? Can't remember.
There's a
I can't
couple of
remember.
there are a few teams playing. It doesn't matter who's playing. What matters is teams are playing in competitive football that counts for the most part and definitely will count when it comes down to the college football playoffs. Um, but first, we've got some news, so don't go away. Stay for the Big Ten stuff, Big 12 stuff, even. But first, we'll crack on through the news. Nick, are we going with Nick's news, the Hindu Times? What are we going with?
Um, I was going to say this news is going to reverberate all around the world. And what have I got for you first? Following on from our talk last week about Texas Tech, or it might have been the week before, Texas Tech joining the Big Ten,
Yep.
Big 12. Um, the Sun Belt, which is where Texas Tech were, are now going to extend an invitation out to the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs,
Oh,
and who are currently in Conference USA. Um, how quick that transition? Well, Louisiana Tech have the right to say no because it's the Sun Belt have basically decided, the powers that be have decided they're going to offer a proposal to Louisiana Tech. The proposal hasn't gone to them yet. They will offer them a proposal. Have got the entitlement to say no. If they do accept and say yes, when they join, all depend on the deal that they negotiate with Conference USA to leave. Whether
right.
it's at the end of this 25-26 academic season or whether it's another year after, and so it's 26-27, that'll all depend on the deal to leave. And
Yeah.
nothing's come up yet because we're only at the proposal stage. Um, the Louisiana Tech become the tenth, sorry, they become the 10th departure from the Conference USA since 2022.
Bloody
Can
hell.
you tell me the nine others? I did think you might have Gary and Sam to help you here, so you know.
Um,
Three of them have also gone to the Sun Belt, if that makes it easier.
um, Off the top of my head, I cannot think of any. I cannot think.
Well, the three that have gone to the Sun Belt, which are Southern Miss, Marshall, and my boys Old Dominion.
Yep.
And the other ones that have left the Conference USA are Texas San Antonio, Charlotte, Rice, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, and
UTSA,
Alabama
UTSA,
Birmingham.
UTSA is one of them. Um, UTSA.
Yeah, University
Yeah,
of Texas San Antonio.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I off the top, do you know what? Honestly, I should have known more, but that was
I wasn't sure whether you were going to have something like that, so I just kept that in my back pocket. Um, Yeah, something that I wanted to bring up was second bit of news is the SEC and the Big Ten are still arguing about what they think the college football playoffs should look like.
yeah.
Now, you know, they want what they want and they don't want to consider what the other guys want. To be honest, if I had to pick one of the two proposals, I would rather have the SEC proposal than the Big Ten proposal, but that's from my personal opinion of being a fan of a team that is independent and doesn't belong to a conference.
So for the people at home, what are the two proposals? If someone does not know, one of them is the you've got the 5 and
Yes,
11.
I've got them here. So the SEC are proposing a 5 and 11, so
Yep.
which is a position for the five conference winners,
And then 11 at large.
and then 11 based on the playoff
Yep.
ranking.
Whatever that is.
Whereas the Big Ten are proposing a 4-4-2-2-1
Yeah.
proposal, giving four places to the SEC and Big Ten each. The ACC and the Big 12 get 2 places each, and then one would be based on the best
So
remaining one, which hopefully, as an independent fan, that would be Notre Dame.
what's it? Well,
But
that one would be group of five, and then three more would be at large, I'm guessing.
I
Um,
assume, well, yes, I suppose so. Yeah, 4, 8, and yeah, 12, 30. Yeah.
because
So,
no matter what, they have to at least offer the G5 one.
yeah.
Um, no, I mean I
But it's
like
just the way the most annoying thing I find at the moment, and we talked about this when we talked about the soul of college football.
yes,
And I said about people who are in college football now, whether you are Greg Sankey, whether you are a player or a coach, you college football has been here before you, and college football will be here after you've left. You know, you are not in charge of college football. You are merely a participant. Stop
yep,
getting on your high horse and believing that you know what's best for an institution that has been here a long time and will continue to be here a long time after you've gone. You need to swallow your pride and stop thinking like a
yep.
selfish so and so and think about the greater good. The greater
The
good.
greater good.
The greater good.
That is a quality reference, by the way. The greater good. Um, no, I agree, and I like the 5 and 11 model.
Yeah,
It simplifies it down quite a bit. It rewards the best performances outright and means that the best teams, I think, get in no matter what.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm fully on board with the 5 and 11, and do not like the Big 12, the Big Ten um proposal. Although I would say that, given how close, like, look, I know me and Greg Sankey are good
yeah.
mates, so of course I would back his idea. Is there anything else that is on your list?
Um, I want to talk Shamar Stewart, if I may.
You may
Now,
talk Shamar Stewart.
you float both sides, you see, because well, I mean, it's your network, but you're part of the Hurdle the Line crew, so you've got the professional game
Yep.
on one side, and obviously you've got the college game on the other. So you're a perfect person for this. But Shamar Stewart was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals in the draft just gone in April.
Yep.
Um, he hasn't yet signed his contract. He's the only first round draftee yet to sign after the Jade Barron signed today or yesterday.
Yeah. Today.
Um, he's not happy with the language that's in the contract, and I won't get into the ins and outs of that because that's for your other pod. But one of the options available to him, or could be available to him, is returning back to college football. He still has a year of eligibility. Now, the NCAA, who, as we know, follow the rules and don't do anything wrong, the rules state that you can't return to college football if you've played it professionally. But he doesn't have a professional contract. He's never taken a professional dime. He's never been paid a single dime professionally. He's never taken part in a professional training session. So, for all intents purposes, a little bit of pushing up against the NCAA, who we know will probably go and hide under the bed at the earliest opportunity. I reckon Shamar Stewart could quite easily find himself back at Texas A&M. Now, the Bengals would hold his rights, and that means if he was successful in returning to Texas and then chose to get drafted again next year, if the Bengals could automatically just say, well, we want him, and anybody else who wants to draft him has to pay us um, you know, trade a trade fee or a trade something.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, so I thought it was quite interesting that that's sort of simmering away in the professional game, but does have him. And of course, now colleges are starting to coming back. If Shamar Stewart is going to do this, he needs to start now
Yeah.
and start the ball rolling.
Yeah. It's a really crazy situation. I say he's the only one left. Jade Barron signed his contract. I it I mean, what's his other option if he doesn't? Right? What's his other option if he doesn't sign his contract?
Sit out the
Because
year.
sit out no, but I'm saying like sit out a year, but surely that harms your position. Um yeah, you can go and do training all year round and you can stay in somewhat shape. But that is a year where you have not played a legitimate snap of football in a professional setting, in a truly competitive setting, right?
And haven't earned any money.
And haven't. Well, you can probably go out and get some. At this point, you'll be able to go out and get some brand deals, get some whatever for a year.
Yeah,
But he will. Like, what are again? It's analyzing what are those other options. There's no better option, obviously, than signing. But also, by the way, there's a cut-off point for, I think it's the 4th of August or the 10th of August. It's one of the two. I'd need to get it up for NFL, well, for rookie players to sign contracts. Otherwise, if they do it before that date, if they don't sign, sorry, before that date, they can be traded and their asset, that them as an asset can be traded. If it's after that date, as long as if they've not got a contract, then only that franchise has access to offering them a contract and to taking them on and can keep them as an asset. So if they want to trade him and someone else, because there will be a team out there who'd be willing to give him the contract that he wants and take out the certain terminology or whatever, go and find that now because the time's ticking. You've got about 3 weeks.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a really interesting situation. I can't remember the last time we truly saw this. Obviously, you've got like there are famous things of people not wanting to play for the team that drafted him. Eli Manning being arguably the most famous one. Um, but or famous situation that included that. But It's almost unheard of these days to have to not just not be signed. And I have a question to maybe flip straight back to you. I asked this on Monday on Hurdle the Line, but obviously, listen, we're not talking college heads like we are that I'm asking this question to. 5 years ago, with that terminology, whatever that terminology is in the contract, would we have seen this? And I'm going to argue that probably not, because the terminology will be around what money he can and cannot access given a certain circumstance, whether it's an injury. If you get injured and can't play
Yeah,
six
it's
games,
about the
we'll take.
guarantees, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
so it's going to be down to what money he can and cannot take home given any certain circumstance. Things like an injury, if you say like if you go get arrested, you can take that money off. You can say as you can kind of say to someone like Shamar Stewart, for crying out loud, mate. Well, just don't go and get arrested. If you are that worried about that money, that's a worrying sign. But if it's over something like an injury or something that he can't control, like a coaching decision, that they can easily manipulate and do the things to not give him that money, I'd understand the frustration. But if we're talking purely about money, then the question has to be if he wasn't earning as much as he was in college football or wasn't earning at all in college football, would this be a bigger deal?
I think you're right in that 5 years ago we might not have seen this. I think from that aspect you're probably right, but it's not so much. It's what Shamar Stewart has said is it's not so much the guarantees in the contract. It's the Bengals have changed the language that they use in the contract between last year
Right.
and this year. So the guy who they drafted in the first round last year at number 18, I think, or 19, got a fully guaranteed contract. And it stated in there that he was entitled to certain guarantees.
Yeah.
What the Bengals have done in between the 2024 draft and this year's 2025 draft that's gone is the Bengals changed the language of the contracts. And so Shamar Stewart, who was drafted higher than the previous guy, his contract, yes, is fully guaranteed, but the guarantees going forward, the Bengals have said there's certain aspects that they won't
Yeah.
pay. And
Right.
Shamar Stewart is arguing that if he's as good as the Bengals think they is, i.e., he's better than the guy last year who got a contract that says this, he
Yeah.
wants his contract to say what it said last year. And the
Yeah.
Bengals are saying, no, you're the first guy who's up, who's going to sign this new contract that we've
Yeah.
come up with. And he's just not happy with the language in it. So he doesn't want to be the guinea pig, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, like I say, it's just a crazy situation all around, and I don't know how this is gonna play out. He might have to just bite the bullet and take the contract. They're gonna have to try and find a way to trade him, or I don't see what the other option is. There's one of those two.
Yeah,
Other than
I don't think this is going to slide away. I think this is going to be a situation that will get sorted. It'll definitely maybe get sorted
Yep.
sooner rather than later, but it's destined to be sorted pretty quickly because, like we said, if he's going to go one way and go back to college, he needs to do that pretty sharpish. Maybe the talk of going back to college then finally makes the Bengals decide to, sort their side out and get him to sign. So I would think we'll probably see some movement in the next few weeks
Yeah.
on that.
At the end of the day, if he's able to do that, I would I would be in a state of acquiesce, right?
Yeah,
I would. It's not what I want, but I'm not going to protest it. I'm not against it. Well, sorry, I'm not. I don't particularly agree with it, but I'm not going to go out cause a fuss of it. I'm in that kind of place, like yeah, in a state of like of acquiesce or something. So yeah, just interesting to see how it plays out. And essentially, you just got to watch this space. for what happens. Is there anything else that you've got in your news?
No, I was gonna make a I was gonna make a backhanded comment about the NFLPA, but I'll leave that.
Okay. Um, put it this way, we may have had that comment on Monday on Hurdle the Line. So if you want to look back in anger at
Yeah.
what the NFLPA have done, you can literally look back to Hurdle the Line on Monday, go and listen to that one. Um, or grow up and stop crying your heart out. I just want to do one of those things and just crack on with it. So I've got a
Okay.
couple of bits here. In the SEC media days are about halfway through. There's been some interesting bits go on. Not too much has truly come out. Um, that I don't think anything's come out that has been crazy. Greg Sankey has said that college football is under stress, but it is not broken. Um, which is basically his way of saying my work is not done yet. Um, that whole when you nearly hit someone with a door or something, you go, oh, got to try harder next time. Is in that kind of mode, like just
Yeah.
what again? What another watch this space. Um,
There you go. What kind of door would you hit Greg Sankey with?
a
Would you
cactus.
hit him with one of these big internal fire doors? You know, the ones that waft shut and stays. Would you hit him with a smaller, lighter door where you could really get some real throw it really at him? You know, or one of the big metal outer doors that you'd find in on a fire exit. There's a question. What door would you hit Greg Sankey with?
Now I am going to go out on a limb here and say that I do not condone violence to anybody. Um,
uh,
I'd say we sit down, have a cigarette and alcohol, and then we can sort all of it out. Nobody needs to be hit with a door. Plus, it'd be a cactus. Anyway, so you've had the Big 12 media days. The Big 12 is obviously, well, we're going to cover that in a minute. So we'll probably, I'll leave most of that now to, to our Big 12 discussion. Oklahoma. Wait, hang on. Sorry, no, that's a load of crap. That's not important. Not too much importance happened. Obviously, the EA Sports College Football 26 has had the full release this week. And yeah, I say no, nothing. It's one of those boring periods. And speaking of boring periods, that sounds like I'm setting up for a segment about menstruation. I'm not. Don't worry.
uh,
Um, there's been a rumor floating around over this last day or two, and
mhm.
I don't want to report rumors as if it's news, but given that this is Fletcher's forum, these things kind of creep into forums.
Yeah.
You could say a supersonic, a true rock and roll star of college football is apparently thinking about coming back.
Hmm.
Nick Saban, some are rumoring that he is not done with college football or football in general and would eye up a return to coaching. This has been a hot topic at the SEC Media Day, which a few of the head coaches have been asked in some of the roundtables and some of the media things that they've been doing. You've got the likes of, I believe it's like Lane Kiffin, who has said that he thinks, or Hugh Freeze has said that Nick Saban's not done yet. It wouldn't surprise him to. And Nick Saban's old mate Kirby Smart has come out and said that he thinks that he's happy where he is, but also in true, because obviously one thing that we associate with those over in the States is that their really good commitment to sarcasm and how well they get it.
Hmm.
Kirby Smart has said that you said, yeah, I called him and offered him Will Muschamp's job, but he was overqualified. For those of you who were unaware, Will Muschamp is the defensive analyst at the Georgia Bulldogs. Um, so if you're ever unsure, Kirby Smart has got all of the banter that there is to have in the SEC. Would you like to see Nick Saban come back?
I
Do
don't
you
think he's
think he
coming
would?
back. I don't think he's coming back. He's got a cushy job. He's got a cushy job at ESPN where he's earning good money. Um, he left Alabama because he could see what was coming. Um, yeah, I don't think he's interested. I think there comes a time when, you know, you don't need to
Yeah,
put you know, get involved. I think he's just conveniently at that stage where he doesn't need to um uh put himself out there. He's got a good enough job at ESPN, and he can say what he likes on
yeah,
ESPN, and they don't seem to be bothered. So
yeah. No, I agree. I don't think he's coming back. I think it's a bit daft to even suggest that he might do, but some people think he might. Um, so Nicholas. Oh, by the way, before I've missed out a really, really, really important piece of this episode, and that's to say, by the way, if you are on YouTube, stop doing whatever it is you're doing and actually look at us for 3 seconds. It's painful. You could just look at Nick instead, right? Just look at Nick. Don't look at me. It's um and I don't have it's a painful experience. I get it. You don't want to see my face, but if you look at Nick and then you look down, you will see the description of this episode. Now, in that description, you'll find there's a load of waffle at the first bit. Ignore that bit. You don't have to see it. That's for where we appear on YouTube and stuff like that. But in there, a little bit further on, you'll start seeing some links. You will see a link to a Discord server. Guess what? That is a free Discord server, which you are allowed to drop. We'll let you do it for free. That is our Discord server, and you can come in and talk college football, NFL, UFL, Britball. We've got a Britball channel in there and a really, really exciting new Britball project coming up. You can come and talk all those things with us, or you can share memes. We don't have enough memes going on. Give us more memes, music, TV, and various other bits. And also, you'll get chances to interact with Hurdle the Line and the College Football UK podcast. So many great things you can do in there. Get it, just do it, right? Just come on, please. I'm asking nicely. And then if you look a bit further down, you will see more links to go to our brand new website. Nick, did I tell you we've got a brand new website? AAW's got a brand new website.
you did
Um,
tell me we've got a brand new website.
a brand new website. I told you about the brand new website. Well, we've got a brand new website. If you didn't remember, when I told you about the brand new website, that we've got a brand new website. AAWnetwork.com, you'll see the link for it in there. There are new articles, including a couple of pieces that I've put up this week that are the 10 main differences between the NFL and college football, and everybody's favorite thing to learn about on this podcast, the college football MacGuffin. There's an article up on that. On the college football MacGuffin, more stuff to come soon. If you would like to help us contribute to the website or anything like that, if you are from the UK and you like college football or the NFL or football in general, feel free. We'd love to see. We'd love you to get involved. Best place to do that: send us a DM on social media or get in the Discord. Now, if you want to send us a DM on social media, guess what? Look a little bit further down. The links to social media are also there. Follow the CFB UK podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that good stuff. Then you can go to the AAW Network. You can follow them as well on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Send them a DM. Either way, it gets back to me. Or what you can do, which is even better idea, there's a link there to go and follow Nick on Twitter. You can do it. There's the option to go and do
It's
that.
not that exciting.
And if you are feeling extra generous for all the incredible content that you are about to get put your way from following Nick, who just shares nothing but exciting things, from from bots. It's basically bots all that Nick really puts up on there. But if you are then feeling charitable, um,
How
if
dare you?
if you're then feeling charitable, give me a follow as well, please. I'd really, really like it. And guess what? If you're bored one day and you want a bit of controversy, send me a tweet. I'll argue with you for free. Because I like to do that stuff. So follow Nick for all the great stuff. Hopefully stop retweeting those Russian naked bots. Um, you had to stop. Had to stop. No, you will not see those things on Nick's profile at all. He's smarter than that. He has a burner for it. Um,
Oh.
but there will be stuff. You go follow Nick. Go follow the AAW. Go follow CFB UK on all of the social medias. And then, like I say, if you're feeling charitable at the end, come and follow me, even if it's just to argue about something, because I'll do that with you. Why not? We'll both get something out of it. But more importantly, let's get on to the big 12. We're not talking the little 12, we're talking the big 12 this week. Arizona State, reigning champions of the Big 12. Nick, where to start from here? Do we go with who our favourites are? Do we go with some key games? Or do we go with the fact that there's a game kicking off in week 0 that features two of the favourites for the Big 12 and how that's going to set up the season almost perfectly?
Well, we could do that. But would that spoil our week 0 preview in a few weeks' time?
Great question.
What I would like to know is who is your favorite? Because you can read as many articles as you want from all the people that think they know, but we know what
We
we
do
know.
know.
We know what we know. I know what you know, and you know what I know. We both know what Gary knows, but Gary doesn't know what we know. So the ultimate thing is, do we know enough to know that we know who the winner's going to be?
I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I'm in a tailspin here. I don't know what we're doing. I'm lost.
Are Arizona State going to repeat? There's the first
There we
question.
go. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
So
I
hang on,
don't think
let me
so
get the
either.
statistic up. There was a statistic I learned this week. No, don't want football.
So if we don't think Arizona State are going to repeat, where do
Right.
you think the winner is? Who do you think the winner is more like?
Right, okay. So I'll read you off an interesting statistic. Um, teams not named out of teams not named Texas and Oklahoma, who by the way were Big 12 teams up until last year when they joined
Hmm.
the SEC. Teams not named Oklahoma or Texas or Nebraska, sorry. Basically, out of all the teams that are still in the Big 12, nobody has gone to back championship games since Colorado did it in 2004, 2005. Anybody else who's done such a thing is no longer in the Big 12.
Yeah,
They are now either in the SEC or the Big 10. That reigns similar, I feel, to the NFC East, where you don't have the same conference champion, the same division champion, like for year after year after year. The only thing you
yeah,
can guarantee is that the Giants won't do it. Um, so I think that is an interesting. I like that statistic, and that puts a little bit of a Debbie Downer on my thingy for Arizona State. If I were to have to choose, they'd be my favorite, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I genuinely think that they'll do it.
yeah.
um,
Go on, carry on.
I think this is the weird thing with the Big 12, and I think people need to understand this with the Big 12, is that this is one of those conferences where anything can happen. Last year, the team projected to finish last, rock bottom, potentially win 0 games, if not win 1, maybe 2 games, and those would be the out of conference games. Ended up winning the conference, going to the playoffs, and taking Texas to a second overtime.
Hmm.
This conference is one of the few where one of any 5 or 6 teams can win it, and there will always be an Arizona State in there every year. BYU have always got to be in that discussion. Um, Texas Tech, I like what Texas Tech are doing. I like what they've done this year. I think they've had a really, really good class. Really good transfer portal. They're doing some nice things. And Iowa State and Kansas State, Iowa State primarily, you cannot count any of them out either. Um, Baylor or TCU, don't see them causing much trouble. Colorado, I'll believe it when I see it without Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have to say Arizona State until it's not, but I think don't truly think they can do it. I think it could be one of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me when it comes to Arizona State, and we talked at length about this last season and during the playoffs, is that Arizona State was such a Cinderella story. It was such a thing about the team weren't expected. The guy, the coach was a local lad, had been there and done that, and the the whole sort of like everything came together. Um, and I just don't
Hmm.
think you're going to see that 2 years running.
No.
They had some, you know, they had some games where they really, really had to dig deep and rely on one or two players, and those guys aren't there anymore. So
Mm.
while I would love to say Arizona State did really well, and they deserve all the plaudits for what they did, but I can't see them doing it again. For me, again, Iowa State lost a lot of talent this year.
Yep.
They lost a lot of
I,
talent.
I'm gonna put this out there, by the way, as far as Arizona State goes, and this is why I say it's them until in my head it's them until it's not to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Is they're returning the trifecta, the quadfecta, the perfect. They're doing the triple double in terms of returning, returning head coach, returning OC, DC, QB, and I think is it seven? It's 70 above 75% of the production from last year is returning. So like that's a lot of consistency.
Yes, it is.
And this is one like college football is one of those sports where again, like it's going to sound probably like I am now running away with Arizona State. Consistency means so much. It means a hell of a lot in college football because it's so rare to find such consistency. If you're in a conference like the Big 12, if you have a damn bloody good season, chances are a Big 10 team or an SEC team's coming after you. Or
Mm.
at least some members of your staff, or you probably only done it because your quarterback's now a senior and he's going to the NFL and whatnot. So, um, in Arizona State's defense, I genuinely think that well, there's a lot of consistency coming back this year. It's got to help.
Yeah. Um, I don't hold out much on Colorado. Um, Dion can work magic, but he can't work miracles. Um, Oklahoma State, they impressed me last year, but they were inconsistent. Nothing that they've done over the summer has said to me that they're going to improve in consistency. We just talked, you literally just talked then about consistency. So for me, it's BYU for me. Um,
Yeah,
it's
a good shout.
BYU ahead of probably Arizona State. I just can't see Arizona State doing what they did last year. So I think BYU, Iowa State, and Arizona State will be your three that you're probably looking at your winner coming from.
Yeah, Oklahoma State are one of those where between them, UCF, and Arizona, I've got them finishing bottom. They're going to be the bottom three.
Mm,
Um, Anywhere within that could be your Cincinnati's, your Houston's. I like Houston, but I don't think they're going to be that good this year. Um, West West Virginia. But like, those kind of teams, they're gonna kind of sit there. Then I think there's a tier above that, and that's where we're gonna have your TCU's, Kansas, Colorado. Because I don't think like I for all that's said about it, yes, I said I want to see what Deion Sanders does without Shedeur, without Travis Hunter. But again, I also like that's not to say that Dion isn't a good coach. That isn't to say Dion doesn't know what he's doing. I do. I think he's a good coach, and I think he knows what he's doing. Um,
Future Cowboys coach.
we'll see about that one. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I think they're going to be a very similar to last year team ish. Maybe a
Yeah,
slight regress. I don't know. If they truly take a leap forward, great. Um, but if they, I think they're either going to stay the same or slightly regress. And if they even stay the same, it's like, yeah, okay, you're good, but what else? Like, what you're good.
yeah,
That's nice. You are going to finish 9-4. So not, yeah, like 8-4. Maybe go to a bowl game. You might finish 9-3, go to a bowl game. You might finish 7-5 in the regular season and go to a bowl game. But that's it. That might be your ceiling. Um,
yeah.
let me ask you this in football term, in British soccer terms. Are you looking at Arizona State then, just a Leicester, or are they a team that has just simply taken a step forward? They won it last year, but they're paying the price of being in a competitive conference, and they'll be there and thereabouts, but just not necessarily winning it year after year.
Are they a Leicester? That might be a good analogy, actually. Um,
Pitted to finish bottom and get relegated, go and win the league, but then you go back and
do finish bottom.
yeah,
um, I was going to say maybe they're a Liverpool. um, but no, yeah, you might be right. You might be right. I think um, it has the potential to be like that. Um, every dog has its day, as the saying goes.
yeah,
And at some point, every team has a good season, and it's how good a season can you have? And I can't, I maybe they can stretch it to two. I don't know. Um, but you know, the Leicester story isn't the only one. You've got,
no.
if you remember when Ipswich came up the first time and they like finished fifth and got qualified for the UEFA Cup, and then they got relegated the next. You know, it happens, but
I remember
I
when
I'm not
Wigan.
sitting here. I'm not sitting here saying I don't want Arizona State to do well,
No, no,
because
no, no, no.
you know,
I'm not
you know,
making that
I'm
assumption.
not against them or anything else. I haven't got anything against them either. I just look at what they did last year, thinking that was the perfect story. The perfect story doesn't come along every year, and
Yeah,
that's why I think you're not going to see a repeat.
fair enough. And the only reason I don't think there'll be necessarily a repeat is just simply it's a competitive conference. Every
Yeah,
game will mean something in that, in especially when it comes down to in conference games, and that's what makes like. I don't think some people realize. I know that it's not a flashy name that we're going to. I know they're not considered flashy names. Um, Iowa State and Kansas State. I get it. Not to those of us who to those who are not necessarily massively into college football over here, who know Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Florida
yeah,
State, Texas, um, who know those programs, who are obviously primarily for you might know who I don't know Cincinnati are because you're a Chiefs fan and you know where Travis Kelce went to school, but you're not thinking about them. You're thinking of the blue blood programs because and the true powerhouses of college football because they're the names you're constantly hearing during the draft. You're constantly hearing about how um Philly keep drafting Georgia players, or at the Lions you hear about how it's roll pride, and Brad Holmes likes drafting Alabama players. I get the whole. It's not a. Like I say, it's not the flashiest game on paper. You're not getting a flashy team on paper, as you would consider you would be if you were getting any other kind of your typical top 10, top 15 games. But this is a top 15 game. At the end, this is going to be two teams who are potentially top 15. This is going to at the end of the season. This is potentially between two teams who may or may not both make the playoffs this year. And I would, but this could also be a win that Florida State's a team and derails you, because this game's going to have massive implications for the playoffs. This is going to have massive implications for who makes the conference championship game. This can have massive implications for a variety of different things in a very competitive conference with two teams that have a history. We have a very, very good game to go and watch that is very, very important and that matters from the second that ball is kicked off
Yeah,
at the start of that whole game matters. We're gonna get. I truly think we're gonna get a treat more important than FSU Georgia Tech. Although we technically did get to watch the very beginning of the downfall of Florida State, which, sorry Gary, it was funny to watch. Like, it's such a competitive division though. Sorry, conference, and this is the only reason why I don't necessarily I see a world where I very, very easily see a world where Arizona State is not in the conference championship.
yeah.
It's just one of them. Um, but right, we go back to and we're gonna go back to a couple of bits as well from last year. Um, and I'll give oh no, I closed the tab. I closed the tab. I closed the tab. Hang on. Talk
That was
amongst
silly.
like yourself on your own. Uh,
Okay, right. Well, as we do, we're always looking at that different kind of angle of what you're going to look at because everyone's got the same predictions. So, is the winner of the Big 12 going to be affected by who's got the best logo? Something completely irrelevant.
is it going to
In
be
that,
affected by that?
yeah, or I'll rephrase: is the best logo going to be that of the winning team? Because I'm sorry, as someone who is as old as I am, I cannot see past Kansas State's logo being the logo of the Thundercats. So if that was red rather than purple, that would be the Thundercats logo. And I'm sorry, anybody who's got the Thundercats logo is, in my book, got the best logo. So
Right.
if it was going to be that based on that, my winner would be Kansas State on the base that they are the Thundercats.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is cutting edge reporting, and this is why those in the US choose us for their news, because we take we really do provide a voice for the Brits. Um, and just how much insight we can truly give to the game of college football, and I love it. Um, now shall we do the ones where the players have the best legs and see if that's the one that gets them to do it? And what are the fashion sense and things like
Being
no.
being a tackle, I'm all about the backside, me. Oh, it's not about the
Look,
legs. As a tackle, it's all about the backside.
do, do you know what? That is impeccably worded. If you use the word tackle on a as a double entendre. Um, okay, but right, I've got the logos up here. Let's all the logos up because I need to see them all side by side. Um, if we're talking about best logos, we're saying Arizona out, UCF out because you're basic. Um, TCU
Texas Tech
out,
out.
Texas Tech out. OSU, no, it looks a bit like Carly Davidson, if you ask me. Bit too Harley Davidson. Um,
BYU look like they're Yahoo.
Kansas, Kansas State, that logo winds me up
The Kansas State logo.
because it looks unfinished. It looks like someone accidentally cut the logo. I need to see a finished Wildcat. I don't want to see a Wildcat that's had an haircut
It
and
looks
looks.
like the Thundercat.
I can't figure out my lefts and rights on this. Anyway, I don't like the boxing off of the because every time I try and
Oh,
put it in a graphic, I think I've messed something up. And I have to remind myself that no, someone couldn't be asked to finish off this
you are
Wildcat's mane.
wrong. You're just
Um,
wrong. There are all a lot of levels of wrong. You can be look. You can be real. You can be wrong and say, "Ah, that is blue when it's red," right? But you can really be wrong saying my house isn't on fire when your house is burning down. That's really wrong.
right.
And what you've just said is just wrong on so many levels.
Finish the finish the fucking logo.
It's the
Finish the mane.
Thundercat. It's finished.
Jesus. Um. So okay.
Doesn't help
Right.
that there's two of us here.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Um. Anyway, sorry. Try again. Arizona out. Baylor out. BYU don't care out. Central Florida out. Houston out. Uh, I don't know. I don't
Iowa
care.
State, I do like, to be honest, with the bending of the state. I do like Iowa State. West Virginia just looks like Wonder Woman, only not
Yes, it
quite.
does. Like I said, Kansas State couldn't finish the logo, so they're at OSU out, TCU out, Texas Tech out, Utah. I don't know. I don't know whether you're in or out. Um, I'm okay with the Colorado one. I think it's kind of clever, but also, meh, it's not the worst. I'd say you gotta have to. It'd be for me between Arizona State, because I like that Sun Devil. I like the pitchfork, or it'd be Kansas because it'd be fog on, leg on. Um, I sit on you. No, that's not fog on, leg on. That's Michael Scott. Um, when he does his big fat character, but I say that's fog on, leg on.
Hmm.
So and yeah. So for me, if you're gonna go between best logos, if it's going to affect the way the season goes,
Yeah.
then Kansas State, honestly, they're gonna do 7 games and not finish the season.
Oh,
Um,
I don't like.
I will fight you on it. I'm happy to go with this one. Like, if they can't finish the logo, who's to say they're gonna finish the season if that's how it works? So it's between those two. Arizona State are the better team, so it's gonna have to be Arizona State.
No, it's the Kansas State one because it looks like the Thundercat. Simple as.
Again,
There's,
if
there is no other argument.
that's fine. If we go back to COVID year and don't finish the season, fair enough. You can have your argument there. Um, or
The
you
Colorado Buffalo just looks like it's jumping to nowhere.
yes, that's true. To be fair, right now, for me, it looks like it's charging at the University of Houston.
I've got them in a line, you see, so it's not.
Right,
At the
right.
moment, he's jumping over the Iowa State logo.
I'll give. Oh, the only thing I'll give to Oklahoma State is the fact that they are to me the real OSU. But also, do you not notice the University of Houston logo just kind of go? It says, "Ugh,
Ugh.
ugh, ugh."
I
It
mean, I
literally,
mean, let's be honest. The Utah logo is not far off.
ugh.
Oh,
I didn't quite hear that. Can you go again?
oh,
Dude, channeling you're in a Gary Neville.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Um, there's a joke there to be made about the Texas Tech and the TT. Um, somewhere I'm not gonna do it. It's charity. I'm not taking it. And I get the Arizona State. Just Arizona State. That's just an A inside an A.
Hmm.
Psh, get a grip. Um, we spent way too long just talking about the logos. On this one.
Oh. That's what
Um,
you want. Yeah, that's what you said. Cutting edge reporting
I did say cutting edge reporting,
from
and
the UK.
I regret it. Um,
I noticed we still didn't get to an agreement either.
no.
Never mind.
Um, when I said we need to talk tonight
Yeah.
about college football, it's not what I meant. Um, so do you know what? There are people sat there right now, half the world away, thinking, "What idiots! What idiots!" And over here, we've got people who are waking up, bit of morning glory, listen to the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Going, what's the story on these two?
yeah, this
Everyone,
podcast,
everyone will be there reading the Hindu Times and just, you know,
this
listening to
podcast
us.
will not live forever. We may just fade away. Anyway, so with regarding the Big 12, is there like are at least how many of those teams are at least going to be bowl eligible? Right, I think there's a good question to be had
Okay.
there. Um,
1, 2, 3, 4 max
4 to
at
win
the maximum.
six games.
4 at the maximum, I think.
So that's how many teams are in this? 16.
Yeah.
12 teams will finish with less than 6 wins.
I didn't say my maths was perfect. I just said 4 max. I looked at the teams and when I could see them winning that many games. I could see them winning that many. Doesn't mean they all will. I'm just saying they could. I can see 4 teams winning that many games, not necessarily all at the same time.
I've got 10 teams being bowl eligible.
There you go.
Arizona
I'd say at
State,
least 4.
Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech, and Utah.
See, I don't see TCU winning that many games. So, but
I, Cincinnati are a good one. I mean, you could swap, say, TCU out or swap them out for Cincinnati. I'm happy. I'd still be happy with that. Maybe one of those teams doesn't quite. There'll be a couple sat there on 6. Um, but I think there's going to be at least a couple of teams, at least 9 teams minimum, but maximum 10 teams who are going to be bowl eligible.
mhm.
But I also want to raise you last year's SEC record versus other conferences. So the Big 12's, yeah. So against the ACC, they went 3-3. Um, Iowa State beat Miami in December. At the I think what Pop Tarts Bowl, Pop Tarts Bowl, because that's why they're coming. Um, Iowa State beat Miami in the Pop Tarts Bowl. In September, BYU beat SMU and TCU beat Stanford. The 3 losses for the conference came when SMU beat TCU. Pittsburgh beat West Virginia and Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati. Um, The Big 12 versus the Big 10 was 2-2. No, 3-2 to the Big 10. Kansas State beat Rutgers in the other bowl. I can't remember which bowl that was. And Iowa State beat Iowa in that derby. Then Illinois beat Kansas, Nebraska beat Colorado, and Penn State beat West Virginia. There's a common theme here with Penn State. Sorry, with West Virginia losing. Versus the SEC. The SEC went 5-2 against the Big 12. The only two wins for the Big 12 came when Oklahoma State beat Arkansas and Arizona State beat Mississippi State, and that was all on the same weekend. Where also Oklahoma beat Houston.
Was that the game where Oklahoma took Arkansas to like 4 overtimes? I think that was that one where it was left. I think it was end to end, and it was just like touchdown,
Yes.
touchdown, touchdown,
Um,
touchdown. I'm sure it was Arkansas that game because I watched it on Sky, and I thought it was like one of the most fantastic games I'd seen in
two
ages.
overtimes. It
Yeah,
was,
two
it was, and
overtimes.
I remember you messaging us about it during the game, and you guys, you were sat there going, "Is anybody watching this game? Was fantastic. Why is no one
Yeah.
watching this game with me right now?" What do you mean
Because
you what?
yeah, that week it was like, what was your game of the week? Oklahoma State.
Um, but I think I might have been watching Michigan at the time, and Gary was watching whatever it was, and you're just sat there going, "No, start watching Oklahoma State, Arkansas, please." I think I probably got it on another screen, but yeah, no, I remember that now because again, I remember you
Yeah.
being very much the advocate for the game. Um, and against the last one is against the Pac-12, by the way, because we're only doing Power Fives because that's still a Power Five on this site. Washington State beat Texas Tech. So you had two teams. You have a conference with two teams in it, and you go 0-1 against that conference. The Big 12 had a 7-12 record against other conferences, tied 3-3 with the ACC, and then decided to just struggled against every other conference.
Um,
We shout out to the Pac-12, by the way, the only conference, only power conference, again, not a proper power conference, but the only conference not to lose to the Big 12. SEC can't do that.
we'll give them a champagne supernova.
Um, but I'm interested to see how they do go against other conferences this year as well. Um, so okay, before we wrap up for the day, I think it's about time that we start to do so. I have not yet received a message from. Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay, so actually, the Power Fives. Yeah, that was right. Their other FBS conferences. Sorry, they went 4-0 against the American, 1-0 against Conference USA, 1-0 against the MAC, 6-2 against the Mountain West, and 2-0 against the Sun Belt. So they may have had an overall 7-12 record against P5s, but they had a 14-2 against G5
G5.
conferences. And in the postseason, they went 1-1. So overall, that's 15-3 against other conferences. Also had a 14-0 conference, 14-0 record against FCS teams. For those of you who want to know. So anyway, like I said, Sam hasn't let me know yet, and Gary hasn't let me know yet what their predictions are for who's going to win the Big 12. But to wrap it up, We're going to do what we did last year, and I'm going to ask you, who are you predicting officially? This is going on paper now. Um,
Ooh,
this is getting
okay.
locked in. This is locking in.
Locking it in.
Who is your prediction to win the Big 12?
Um, I'm gonna stick with my gut that I came in with at the beginning of the episode. I'm gonna go with BYU.
Okay. Okay. So again, I need to lock it in now. I'm going to lock it in. I am going to. I'm going to stick my neck out on the line here a little bit
Oh, are you going
and
for the
say
repeat?
that no,
Oh,
to lock it in proper again. Like as I said before, like there is no one team where I'm sat there like you are definitely going to do this.
yeah.
History's not on Arizona State side, but I'm going to make a bold prediction on behalf of everybody attending in week 0 and say that we are going to go and watch the Big 12 champions play,
Okay.
and it will be Iowa State.
They were my second choice.
So, congratulations to all of us who are going to the week 0 game in Dublin. We will get to watch the Big 12 champions play. We will get to watch a playoff team, which, we thought we were going to do last year, by the way. Didn't we? We all sat there like, we're going to go watch a playoff team and we'll go watch Florida State as well. But Georgia Tech let everybody down, didn't go to the playoffs. They're an exciting one for this year, by the way. When we start talking ACC, I can't wait to talk Georgia Tech. But we will see a playoff team in Dublin this year, and we will watch the start of their rise to dominance in the Big 12 by watching when Iowa State beat Kansas State.
And no doubt I will walk around asking, does that remind you of the Thundercats logo? And I guarantee you more people say yes than say no.
But there's I've not said that it doesn't look like the Thundercats logo. Like, that isn't what's being debated. What it
But
looks
if
like.
it does look like the Thundercats logo, then how can you not say that the Thundercats are awesome? And so they would deservedly be number one.
Because I prefer devils and pitchforks. But also I prefer that they finish the logo as well, not just start to look like something. I prefer it to be finished. Um, it looks like a Discord reaction that someone couldn't quite fit into the box.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not sticking on this. Nick's final prediction locked in now is BYU for the Big 12 Conference Championship. I am locking it in now with Iowa State. We will wait on Gary and Sam for their predictions. Hopefully, they'll come through today on the day of release, again, 16th. And we will try and put something out on the CFB UK social medias for our Big 12 conference predictions. Now, next week, I told you we're on conference predictions and we've got 5 episodes. Now, you're thinking, probably at home, you're thinking, but Fletch, I know you keep mentioning the Pac 12, but surely there's only still 2 teams in it this year. Surely you're not going to do a full episode on a 2-team conference. Well, you're wrong, because we are going to do it. That's a lie. No, we're not. Next week, we're going to do all things group of 5 again. And
Because we have a guest.
but I will say, I do believe we have a returning guest on the
We do.
podcast.
As far I sent out a message today. I am waiting on a reply, but as far as I am aware, we are all good for next week.
Lovely stuff. So, if you have been following us since last season, you will remember Joe, who is the G5 expert that we have on tap. Apparently, I don't have him on tap, unfortunately. But he is our G5 expert that we will try and get in every year if we can, to come and talk all things group of 5. Grant, it might be a very long episode, or we might just have to fly through. But we are going to talk all things G5. Expect, and I mean, to the death. I mean, expect nothing but Kennesaw State talk because we know they are going to be the leaders of the G5 coming out. Who, by the way, another piece of news, they released their new jerseys today. Um,
Are you buying one?
I I don't think you can get them shipped to the UK. I don't think that's a thing. Oh, you probably can. But
I can provide you with an American address to have it shipped to and then brought over.
I too have 5 star.
There you
Um,
go.
but what I will say is this, right? I don't ask for many things in life, right? I don't ask people to do things for. I do, well, I do, but I always do it with humility and grace, and never any expectations.
I
Dear
told
Ken,
you I was not going to look at that thing. I do not want to
yeah,
see it.
you're gonna look at it. You're gonna look
No,
at it, and you're gonna like it. End of story.
no.
And we'll talk about this off camera. Um, Kennesaw State. Not even the people in the Kennesaw area have believed in you as much as I have. I think I deserve one of these new jerseys. Um,
Uh,
I think that out of the kindness of your own hearts, I deserve I'm joking. Um, but yes, I am very, very much looking forward to talking a bit of Kennesaw State next week, and we're gonna get a bit of Old Dominion in there, or have you abandoned Old Dominion?
oh no, Old Dominion are on tour in Manchester the next few weeks. Guess who's off to Old Dominion? Woo woo. So, you know, Old Dominion the band watched. Old Dominion the college watched. Right, ticking boxes, mate. Ticking
Hang on.
boxes.
I was gonna old. Let's see what other Old Dominions there are.
So,
Old Dominion, yeah.
if there's a restaurant called Old Dominion, I'll try it.
Old Dominion Freight Line. Where are they? Where are they? Um,
I can
is it?
send something with.
You're a truck driver. Okay, I believe they're in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, that's where Old Dominion are
Yeah.
based.
So yeah. So you're
I
gonna
think they're based in
complete the Old
Norfolk, Virginia,
Dominions.
actually. But
If you're gonna complete the Old Dominions, you've got to drive a truck for Old Dominion Freight Line,
oh right, okay,
and
okay.
that's just one of the Old Dominions that you've got to.
That's the only one I've got to tick off, is it? Right,
That's
okay.
one of the ones you've got to tick off. I want to see what other Old Dominions we've got. Unfortunately, um, Google
Anyway, going
Google
back to going back to your point, um, I don't abandon Old Dominion at the first sign of trouble. I saw
would.
Old Dominion were one of four college teams I saw in the flesh last year, and you know they they were you know they were winners over um, Georgia State, which wasn't hard, and I also got to see Georgia Tech win. So two Georgias winning when watching Georgia Tech win, watch Georgia State lose, watch Old Dominion win. It was all part of the fun and games. But no, I'll be on the Old Dominion train again on the freight line this season. I will be on the Old Dominion freight line.
And
Um,
we can also confirm that I can confirm if Sam does make it, there will be Raging Cajun talk.
I'm sure there will be.
I'm also going to try and see if we can get Egg involved. Egg, by the way, if you look at the new website, Egg will be doing some G5 content for us, by the way, for the website. I know everybody misses him. Um, and don't tell us otherwise. We won't believe you. But Egg will be doing some G5 articles for the website as well. Because we know that if there is any true sicko, uh, in this community, it is Egg who actually watches FCS football and potentially some D2 football. Shout out to the Sickos committee, by the way. Always love listening to their podcast. Anyway, but yes, next week is all G5, G6, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yes.